Hello, welcome to my tutorial series on Thaumcraft 4.1. So after seeing the number of hits my Thaumcraft videos got on my Direwolf series, I think it's fair to say that a lot of people are very confused on how to play Thaumcraft. There's not a lot of documentation for it, and that's kind of by design, but I like to try to help demystify it a little bit, try to make it easier to play because it's a really cool mod. It's just, it's so hard to set up. So let's see about getting started with Thaumcraft. So this is just a test world. This is a private mod pack. Unfortunately, I can't share the world, but because it's a private mod pack, you wouldn't be able to use it. But if you want to play, this is the newest version of Thaumcraft as of March 28, 2014. This is Thaumcraft 4.10G. G is in George. So, getting started with Thaumcraft. There's a lot of things you need to get started with Thaumcraft. The first thing we're going to do is make a Thaumonomicon. And to do that, you need a bookshelf. So I have a bookshelf, and you have to make a wand. So to make your first wand, you take a stick, and you take these iron wand caps, or iron caps, and that's just 5 iron nuggets in a pattern. We get 2 of those, the stick, and the 2 caps, and we can make an iron-capped wooden wand. Now, occasionally, if you run around the world, you'll find Thaumcraft obelisks, and they might have treasure on them, or you might find a chest underneath a greatwood tree. There's a greatwood tree right out there. They're pretty big. You can recognize them pretty easily, especially with Wayla. And sometimes you'll find Thaumcraft chests under there. Sometimes they'll have a Thaumonomicon in it, which is helpful for getting started. Okay, so after you've got your iron-capped wooden wand, put it in hand, right-click the bookshelf. That's how you make a Thaumonomicon. The Thaumonomicon is the book of Thaumcraft. It contains all the documentation. It's how to use it, although it's not as detailed as I would prefer, and a lot of wiki stuff changes or is inaccurate because of all the changes that gets made to Thaumcraft. 4.10F in particular changed a ton of stuff. But I'm going to go with the newest version. The Direwolf Pack 1019 has the latest 4.10G version of Thaumcraft. I was going to play on the Monster Pack so people could play along with the world, but the Monster Pack is still on 4.10E of Thaumcraft. I don't know what they're waiting for, but I didn't feel like waiting for them. So, as my test world, I'm going to make whatever items I need and just show you some things. I hope it can be interesting without actually having a world I play through, because, I don't like little tutorial videos that, show idealized situations, so I hope I'm going to be able to avoid that, but I'm not sure. Okay, so once you have your Thaumonomicon, you can right-click it. You can left-click and drag around here and see all kinds of things in your Thaumonomicon. So you can read about it, click on these circle things. This tells you how to make a Thaumonomicon, an iron-capped wooden wand, which you can find out how to make. You can press escape to go back. Click on all these things. You can learn about aspects of magic. It tells you about air, aqua, ignis, ordo, perditio, and terra. These are the 6 primal aspects. And these primal aspects make up everything in the world. And I'll explain that a little bit later. So we've got our Thaumonomicon, we've got our iron-capped wooden wand. Well, what are you supposed to do with Thaumcraft? Well, Thaumcraft is a really intricate mod, so there's tons of stuff we can do. We can do automation with it, we can do mining with it, we can do cool building tricks with it, we can have weapons. Thaumcraft it's really just, I don't know. I don't really love Thaumcraft. There's just maybe a half a dozen things I think are really incredible. The Wand of Equal Trade, or the Wand Focus of Equal Trade for Thaumcraft 4, is just an amazing construct that I absolutely love about Thaumcraft. It's basically the reason that I made sure it was in our little private pack here, and I found a lot more things that are very interesting. So Thaumcraft really changes the mechanics of modded Minecraft. So you may be used to tech mods, Industrial Craft, Buildcraft, Thermal Expansion, Mine Factory Reloaded, Railcraft, stuff like that. But Thaumcraft, it does a lot of those things just in different ways using magic. So the aspects of magic are what make up the world. So the first thing we're going to do is go into our Thaumonomicon, and we're going to go to one of these tabs. There's the basic information, thaumaturgy, alchemy, artifice, geomancy, and I also have Thaumic Tinker installed. I haven't played around with that, but we'll probably get to it because I know I kept it in the pack for a reason, and there were some cool things I want from there. If we go into our Artifice tab, though, here's the first thing you're going to want to build. Sorry, not that. This, the Thaumometer, measuring magic. The thermometer lets you scan things, and scanning things in the world teaches you about what they're made up of and gives you research points for different aspects. And research points are used in doing research. So there's a lot of things that we have, there's a lot of things we don't know, like what's this thing? We don't know what that is, we haven't researched it yet. So in Thaumcraft, you have to figure out how the world works. You're not just told about it, you have to go research it. And Thaumcraft research is tied to your player data, so it's hard to share anyway. So, alright, so we want to make one of those Thaumometers. So how do we do that? Well, it's a workbench recipe, so it's just a crafting table. We need 2 of any kind of shard, 2 pieces of, or 2 gold ingots, and a piece of glass. I should have all of that, and I do. So right click on my crafting station. And this is just, if you don't have Tinker's Construct, crafting station is just a crafting table. It's just a little bit nicer. Nothing really special about it. So, glass. Now, when you're mining, you'll find these shards. The 6 types of shards correspond to the 6 basic aspects: fire, air, water, earth, order, and entropy. And they all have Thaumcraft names too, like kind of, I don't know what to call it. I don't know if they're Latin or Greek or where he derives these names from. Some of them sound, like I've heard of these before. Some of them I just don't know where they came from. But so fire is ignis, air is air, but A spelled A-E-R. Entropy is perditio, P-E-R-D-I-T-I-O. Order is ordo. Earth is terra, and water is aqua. So any 2 kinds of shards, sorry, I think it's this way, and gold. And we get us a Thaumometer. So what do you do with a Thaumometer? Put it in your hand and right click on things, like cobblestone. Bottom right hand corner, we discovered Saxum. We gained a research point for Perditio, 3 research points for Saxum. We could also scan a torch. We discovered a clue to Noose research, and we gained 3 research points for Lux, and we discovered Lux. So whenever you discover a new aspect, and besides the 6 primal aspects, there are compound aspects made up of those. So if we go back into our Thaumonomicon and go back to basic information, we can see aspects of magic. And besides the 6 primals we now have Lux and Saxum. And if you see I'm highlighting or hovering over this, and you can see cobblestone is listed there, that's what has Saxum in it that we know about so far. And what it's composed of. Terra and Terra, which is the Thaumcraft name for Earth. Okay, so how is that going to help us? Well, that's going to help us because we have to do research to figure out more things. You saw that we just got a clue to new research. I don't know what it is, but the things that are new to you should be kind of blinking like this, kind of flashing off and on. But I think research expertise and advanced node tapping are pretty much basic in the beginning. So I think we're going to find that that light stuff that we just did, the new clue from Lux for light, opened up Niter, Elementum, and Magic Tallow. I'm pretty sure that's what Lux opened up for us. Not 100% sure, but pretty sure. So we don't know how to make Niter. If we did, we'd left click on it. But you can see, well, maybe if you can see, that red text says you need scribing tools and paper to get this research note. So how do we do research and what's it going to get for us? So to do research, we need a table. But not just any kind of table, we need a Thaumcraft table. So there's a Thaumcraft table, and, oh, sorry, I've got cheat mode turned on. If I hit R, here's the recipe. It's any kind of slab, any kind of planks. So we're going to make 3 of these tables, and I'll show you why in a minute. Now, you also saw that it said we were going to need paper and scribing tools. Scribing tools, it's basically, a quill and an inkwell, old-timey writing utensils, or hey, maybe a fountain pen, whatever. You can make scribing tools, and you can find that out in your Thaumonomicon. If we go back to basic information and go into research, this is where you would have learned about how to do research. You would find out that you need a thermometer, which we built. You need a research table, which we haven't built yet, but we're going to. So the first thing you need to do is the thermometer. We did that. Once complete, you can display things. Blah, blah, blah. So here we go. How do we make these scribing tools? A glass file, a feather, and an ink sac. A glass file is a specific Thaumcraft thing, but oftentimes you can use a glass bottle from Minecraft as well. And in fact, here's that recipe. It's shapeless. You don't have to put it in any particular pattern. So here we go. We're going to make scribing tools. And I'm going to make 2 of these. Glass bottle, ink sac, and feather. And I'll tell you why I'm going to make 2 of them in a minute. I'm just going to make them for now. So we're going to take 2 of these tables, and I'm just going to place them right next to each other, and place these scribing tools. Right click on the table. Now this is a research table. This is where we do our research. So in here we have lots of things in here. We have all of our aspects. We have our scribing tools, and if you take them out, you can't do things anymore with research. This is where you put your research note. If you recall earlier in our Thaumonomicon, when we went to try to research niter, we said we'd get a research note if we had scribing tools and paper. It's red text, so you still know we don't have scribing tools and paper. Let me get some paper, because I did forget to get that before we started. There we go. So now the text is blue. Click to get a research note for this research. So I'll go ahead and left click. A research note added to your inventory for niter. We now have a research note for niter. Here it is. Drag it up here. Now we can research niter. So, how do you do research? Well, basically, you have to connect all the symbols together in a line. And it doesn't really matter how the line goes as long as all the symbols connect in some way. So, the symbols are lux and ignis, and there's tons of these things. These correspond to all the aspects. Ignis is a core aspect or a primal aspect, and lux is a compound aspect. Remember, we got lux from scanning that torch. That's how we first discovered the clue to get niter. We wouldn't have had that originally. So how are we going to get over here to ignis? Well, I'm actually going to hold off on that because I want to get some more aspects before I start doing research. So here's how we start the research, but I'll come back to actually doing it in a minute. Okay, so why did I make that other table? Right click the other table, put it down somewhere, and if you right click the table with your wand, it turns into an Arcane Workbench. An Arcane Workbench is basically a crafting table, but with your wand in it. And it's basically a way to use magic to craft things. And you see these little symbols around here. It tells you what symbols you might need to craft something. They're all blank right now. We don't have anything we're going to craft. But if it did need something, we'd have to have those aspects in our wand. So I'll come back to that. But there's how we make the Arcane Work Table. So the first thing you're going to have to do in Thaumcraft after you make this Thaumometer is go around and scan tons of objects. And one of the things I don't like about it is that in the beginning, most things you scan aren't going to be scannable. So if I right click on scan this bed, if it's a right clicked object, you have to hit shift and right click, or sneak and right click. And if you can see on the bottom right hand side, I do not have all the knowledge required to understand this. If I don't know what aspects make up a bed, or what aspects go into aspects that would make up a bed, I can't scan that, and I don't. And in the very beginning of Thaumcraft, you're going to know almost nothing. Cobblestone, torches, stone are three things you can scan from the beginning. You can scan water. There's a couple things, so let's see here. I know we can scan coal, and coal is a good one to scan. So if I take this coal and put it here, and you can even scan things that are dropped on the floor. So I'm just going to throw this on the floor and step back so I don't pick it up. Right click to scan the coal, and you can see we gained 4 research points for Potentia and 2 for Ignis. We already knew about Ignis, so the coal gave us 2 points for Ignis. We did not know about Potentia, we just learned about Potentia, so we got bonus points for that. So now that we know Potentia, I think I've got a pretty good idea on how we can connect it to Niter. So let's go over here and see if I can make Niter now. So, Lux. If you go into your Thaumonomicon, back to Basic Information, and Aspects of Magic, you can see what aspects make up what other compound aspects. So Lux is air and Ignis. And Potentia is Ordo, order, a primal aspect, and Ignis, another primal aspect. So if we go back to our research table, okay, let's see here. I will connect air to Lux, and you can see there's a line here connecting them, and they're both lit up. If it didn't connect, like air and fire don't connect, because air's not made up of fire, and fire does not have air as a component. So we can take that away. But if it was made up of it, like Lux has air and fire in it, so we can connect air back to Lux, just like we connected Lux to air before. And we could connect air here. But you can see that air does not connect to fire. So we'll put one more Lux in here, and you can see this has now changed to a discovery, Niter, because we now have a line connecting them. So you can connect things if they're made up of other things. So I can connect to air. I can connect air to Lux because Lux is made up of air. Or you can connect to things that have things in them. Lux is made up of air, so I can connect air to Lux. Or I can connect fire to Lux because Lux has fire in it. Or Ignis as a Thaumcraft thing, the Thaumcraft name. Okay, grab our discovery, put it down here on our hotbar. If I right-click this, I now have research completed for Niter. So I go into my Thaumonomicon, and you can see it's kind of glowing on the Alchemy tab. That tells you there's new stuff there. So it's got a little effect here, a little glowing effect. I just learned about Niter. So Niter can be made in a crucible. Well, we don't have a crucible, so we're going to have to work on that. Niter is a flame. It's got light, it's got heat, and it never burns out. It's kind of like netherrack, but doesn't catch things on fire. So Niter's pretty useful, actually. We'll get back to trying to make Niter in a minute. So what I want to do right now is go find more aspects. I told you that we couldn't scan the bed, and we still can't, but there's a few things you can scan in the beginning. You should be able to scan coal, you should be able to scan cobblestone, stone, torches, things like that. And if you even go into your Thaumonomicon and go back to basic information and research, it will tell you about compound aspects. I'm sorry, I lied. I meant aspects of magic will tell you about compound aspects. So the simplest example of such a compound aspect is the aspect of Victus, which is life, which is a combination of terra and aqua. So if we wanted to experiment with our table and just try to figure things out, we can do that in the research table. You don't have to scan things, it's just the easiest way to do things. Some things, though, you're going to have to research and figure out. Victus is actually one of them. So it was aqua and terra. Here's Aqua and here's Terra. If I click on them, they go down here, here, and here. If I left click, it's going to try to combine these into a new aspect. And you can't see that because of NEI, but I'll turn that off. I have discovered Victus, gained 3 research points for Victus. And there's Victus, which is life. And we knew that because the Thaumonomicon told us. So that's the ways that you can build your aspects. However, to get that Victus, we did use up 1 point of Aqua and 1 point of Terra. How do we get more points? Scanning stuff with your Thaumometer, which is why you need to scan everything. There is a list, and I will point the link to the list that I had. I might even make another list because that list is a bit incomplete because of what's changed in Thaumcraft 4.1. But I found a list on a thread that showed you what things you could scan to get all the aspects, or pretty much all the aspects. So I'm going to go off camera and scan a bunch of stuff so we can get the aspects, and then I'll come back and show you some more research things. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, if you're anything like me, you prefer shorter YouTube videos for tutorials. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here. When we come back next time, I will have scanned some more stuff so we can do some more research. But we've got the basics of Thaumcraft 4.1 pretty well covered here. We showed you how to make the first wand, how to use the wand to get the Thaumonomicon, how to use the Thaumonomicon to figure out how to build your Thermometer, which lets you scan things to get research points, how to use research points to do research in the research table by getting research notes from your Thaumonomicon, by using Scribing Tools and paper. And we showed you how to build the Arcane Work Table. Haven't used that yet, but we will be using that pretty soon. Alright, I think that's a pretty good stopping point. Catch you next time.